Ladies and gentlemen, you see, when God is about to bless you with something big, He doesn't just hand it over wrapped in a ribbon. No, He prepares you for it. He stretches you, He refines you, and He makes sure you are ready to carry the weight of the blessing. But how does He do that? Through signs. Signs that most people mistake for hardships. The first sign: everything will fall apart before it comes together. Life has a strange way of preparing us for the things we pray for, the things we dream of, and the things we are destined to achieve. But the process is not always pleasant. In fact, more often than not, it is painful, confusing, and overwhelming. Just when you think you are getting closer to your goal, just when you start believing that everything is finally falling into place, everything seems to collapse right in front of your eyes. The people you trusted start walking away. The opportunities you counted on slip through your fingers. The sense of stability you once had suddenly vanishes, leaving you wondering if you were ever meant to succeed in the first place. It feels as if life is playing a cruel trick on you, making you believe in something beautiful, only to snatch it away at the last moment. But what if I told you that this breaking, this unraveling, is not a punishment? What if I told you that this is actually a sign that something greater is on its way? Most people assume that progress looks like a straight path, where one step naturally leads to the next and everything flows in a logical, predictable sequence. But in reality, growth is messy. It is unpredictable. It requires destruction before construction, emptiness before fulfillment, and loss before gain. Imagine a house that has stood for decades, old and worn, its walls cracked, its foundation unstable. If you want to build something new, something stronger and more beautiful, you cannot simply place fresh paint over the cracks. You must tear down the weak foundation first. You must break it apart so that something greater can take its place. The same principle applies to life. When you are about to receive something big, life will remove everything that no longer serves you, everything that cannot support the weight of your blessings. It will feel like a loss, but in reality, it is preparation. Think about a seed buried deep within the soil. In darkness, in silence, it begins to crack open. To the untrained eye, it looks like destruction. It looks like the seed is being broken, torn apart from the inside. But what is actually happening? Growth, transformation. That breaking is the very thing that allows roots to form and a new life to emerge. If the seed were never broken, it would never reach its full potential. The same happens with you. When everything in your life seems to be breaking, when it feels like you are losing more than you are gaining, understand that you are being planted, not buried. You are being prepared for a new season, a new chapter, a new version of yourself that can handle the blessings that are coming. This process of falling apart often feels unfair. You will question why things are happening the way they are. You will wonder why the people you once depended on suddenly disappear. You will struggle to understand why opportunities that seemed so promising turn to dust. But what if those people were never meant to walk with you into the next chapter? What if those opportunities were never truly aligned with your purpose? Sometimes the greatest mercy is an unanswered prayer. Sometimes the very things we fight to hold on to are the things that would have held us back. It is in these moments of breaking that you will discover your true strength. When everything is stripped away, when the familiar comforts are gone, you will be forced to dig deep within yourself and find resilience you never knew existed. You will come face to face with your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, and you will be given a choice: to let the breaking destroy you or to let it refine you. This is where true transformation happens, not when life is easy, but when life tests you. The second sign is you will feel like you are losing control. We love control. We love knowing exactly where we are headed, mapping out every step, planning every detail, believing that if we organize everything just right, life will unfold the way we want it to. There is a certain comfort in predictability, in having a sense of direction, in knowing that the ground beneath our feet is steady. But when something big is about to happen, that sense of control begins to slip away. No matter how tightly you hold on, no matter how hard you try to steer things in a certain direction, life begins to unfold in ways you never expected. The plans you were so sure about start falling apart. The paths you thought would lead you to success suddenly become blocked, and the sense of security you once had begins to crumble. It is unsettling, it is frustrating, it is terrifying, but it is also a sign that you are being led to something far greater than what you had planned for yourself. Losing control is not a punishment, but most people experience it as one. They fight against it, they resist the changes that are happening around them, desperately trying to force things back into the shape they once recognized. But the more they fight, the more they struggle. It feels like trying to swim against a powerful current, exhausting yourself in an attempt to move in a direction that is no longer meant for you. And eventually you come to a point where you have no choice but to let go. That moment is one of the hardest, but it is also one of the most necessary. Because in that moment, you begin to understand that control was never yours to begin with. There is a reason why things are shifting. There is a reason why the doors you once relied on are closing. There is a reason why the opportunities you were so sure about are slipping through your fingers. When you are meant for something bigger, life will not allow you to settle for less. It will shake your world in ways that feel uncomfortable, even unbearable, but only because it is pushing you towards what is truly meant for you. If everything went according to your plans, you would never discover what is possible beyond them. If you never lost control, you would never learn to trust the process. It is easy to trust when everything is going your way. It is easy to believe when life is predictable and smooth, but true faith, true resilience is tested when nothing makes sense. When you have done everything right, yet nothing seems to be working in your favor. When you have given your best effort, yet doors keep closing. In those moments, you are being asked to trust in something greater than yourself. To trust that even though you cannot see the full picture, the pieces are falling into place exactly as they need to. Most people misunderstand this phase of life. They see the loss of control as a failure, as a sign that they are moving in the wrong direction. But in reality, it is the opposite. It is a sign that they are getting closer to the breakthrough, closer to the opportunity, closer to the moment that will change everything. Because before something big happens, life will make sure you are no longer clinging to the things that are not meant for you. It will strip away the need for certainty, the need for validation, the need for everything to go according to plan. It will place you in a position where the only option left is to trust, and that trust, that surrender, is what prepares you for what comes next. The tiered sign is a strong urge to let go of the past will arise. There comes a time in life when you start feeling a deep and undeniable urge to let go of the past. It is not something you decide logically, nor is it something you can explain to others. It is a pull, a whisper from within that tells you it is time to release what once was so you can step into what is meant to be. The memories that used to define you start to feel heavy. The relationships you once fought so hard to maintain begin to feel out of place. The pain that once fueled you now feels like a burden you no longer wish to carry. You may not fully understand why, but you know that something is shifting. Something is calling you forward. And the only way to move ahead is to let go of what is behind. At first, it feels unnatural. The past has been a part of you for so long that it almost feels like you are losing a piece of yourself by releasing it. The past, the wounds, the betrayals, the disappointments, they have shaped you, and in some way they have become your identity. You have spent years carrying them, replaying them in your mind, using them as a reminder of what went wrong, of who hurt you, of what could have been. But then something inside you begins to question whether holding on to these things is serving you anymore. You start realizing that no matter how tightly you grip the past, it does not change. No matter how many times you relive those moments in your head, they remain the same. And slowly you begin to understand that holding on to them is not protecting you, it is holding you back. There is a fear that comes with letting go, a fear that if you release the past, you might lose a part of your story. But the truth is, you are not losing anything. You are simply making space for something new. Carrying pain does not honor your journey. Healing does. Holding on to resentment does not make you stronger. Freeing yourself from it does. You cannot move forward while constantly looking back. You cannot embrace the future with hands full of the past. And so life starts giving you subtle signs. People who no longer resonate with you begin to fade away. Situations that once triggered you no longer have the same power. Old dreams start to feel misaligned with who you are becoming. At first, it might feel like loss, but in reality, it is growth. You might find yourself revisiting old wounds one last time, feeling the weight of them before deciding once and for all to put them down. The hardest part about healing is not the pain itself, but the willingness to release it. There is something strangely comforting about old pain. It is familiar, it is predictable. But you were never meant to live in the past. Unless you lived in the... You were never meant to spend your entire life carrying things that were only supposed to be lessons. Growth is not just about gaining wisdom. It is about knowing when to move on. It is about trusting that whatever is meant for you will never require you to stay stuck in a version of yourself that no longer feels right. As this shift happens, you might feel moments of resistance. You might feel the urge to hold on just a little longer, to keep certain people close, even though you know they are no longer good for you, to keep certain habits alive, even though you know they are preventing you from growing. But deep down, you know that change is necessary. You know that the chapter ahead requires a different version of you, a lighter version, one that is not weighed down by what is already gone. And so you begin to trust the process. You begin to understand that letting go is not a loss, but a powerful step toward everything that is waiting for you. The fourth sign is usual challenges and opposition will intensify. When you are on the verge of something big, life will not make it easy. In fact, it will feel like every force in the universe is suddenly working against you. You will face opposition from places you never expected. People you trusted may start questioning your choices. Doubt will creep in, whispering that maybe you are not good enough, not ready enough, not strong enough. Everything that once felt stable might start to shake, leaving you wondering if you were ever meant to walk this path in the first place. It will seem unfair, like an invisible wall is blocking your every step. But what if that resistance is not a sign that you are on the wrong path? What if it is proof that you are getting closer? Growth is uncomfortable. Stepping into a new level of your life is not supposed to be easy, because if it were, everyone would do it. If you were meant to stay the same, life would let you be. But the fact that challenges are rising against you, that difficulties seem to be multiplying, is not a sign of failure. It is confirmation that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. When you challenge the status quo, when you dare to believe in something bigger than what you have been given, there will always be resistance. The strongest opposition often comes right before the breakthrough. You may feel like the harder you try, the more obstacles appear in your way. You may find that people who once supported you now seem distant or dismissive. You may start encountering roadblocks in areas of your life that were previously smooth. It will be frustrating, exhausting, and at times it may even make you question whether the dream you are chasing is worth it. But here's the truth: nothing extraordinary is ever achieved without struggle. The obstacles are not there to stop you. They are there to test your commitment. Think about a door that has been locked for years. If you are the first person to push against it, it will not open easily. It will resist. It will demand effort. But that does not mean the door is impossible to open. It only means that no one else has dared to push long enough. The same goes for your journey. If the path were easy, it would not lead anywhere significant. The weight of the opposition you face is often a reflection of the greatness of what lies ahead. It is in these moments of struggle that many people turn back. They assume that because the journey is hard, it is not meant for them. They mistake resistance for rejection and difficulty for a dead end. But those who truly succeed are the ones who keep moving forward despite the challenges. They do not let the doubts of others define their destiny. They do not allow temporary setbacks to dictate their future. They understand that growth comes through friction, that diamonds are formed under pressure, that strength is built in the struggle. Opposition is a sign that you are shifting into a new level of existence. It is life's way of asking, how badly do you want this? It is the fire that refines you, the storm that forces you to dig deep, the challenge that proves you are ready. And though it may not feel like it in the moment, every hardship, every setback, every unanswered question is shaping you into the person you need to be. Because when something big is on the horizon, the road to reach it will not be smooth. It will be filled with trials designed to prepare you for the weight of what is coming next. The fifth sign is unexpected opportunities will open suddenly. Just when you are about to give up, just when you think you have exhausted every possible option, something shifts. It happens in the most unexpected way, at the most unpredictable moment. A door that you never even noticed suddenly opens. An opportunity you never imagined becomes available. Someone you least expected offers you a chance that changes everything. It does not come the way you thought it would. It does not arrive in the exact form you were hoping for. But there it is, standing in front of you, waiting to be claimed. At first, it does not seem real. After struggling for so long, after facing rejection after rejection, after losing hope more times than you can count, you almost hesitate to believe that this opportunity is meant for you. There is a small part of you that wonders if it is too good to be true. But deep down, you know that it is not luck, it is not coincidence. It is the moment you have been preparing for all along, when something big is about to happen. The path leading up to it is really smooth. You go through seasons of confusion, of setbacks, of doors slamming shut in your face. You experience delays that feel endless, disappointments that make you question if you're even on the right track. And just when you think you cannot take another step forward, that is when the unexpected happens. What most people do not realize is that the opportunities meant for them will not always come in the form they expected. Sometimes they look like challenges at first. Sometimes they appear disguised as something that forces you out of your comfort zone. That is why so many people miss their moment. They are so focused on the way they imagine success would look that they fail to recognize it when it actually arrives. The truth is, opportunities do not always announce themselves. They do not come knocking with a sign that says, "This is it." They show up in quiet moments, in conversations you did not plan to have, in situations that seem ordinary but hold extraordinary potential. They demand awareness awareness, they require an open mind, and most importantly, they call for the courage to step into the unknown. People often assume that once the opportunity comes, everything will suddenly become easy. But the reality is that even when the right door opens, you still have to walk through it. You still have to make the decision to say yes. You still have to fight the fear that tells you to stay where it is safe, where it is familiar. Because stepping into something new always comes with uncertainty. You do not know what lies ahead. You do not know if you will succeed, but you do know one thing. Staying where you are is no longer an option. That is why the final test before something big happens is not whether you can recognize the opportunity, but whether you are willing to take it. Whether you are ready to let go of what you thought your life was supposed to be and embrace what it is meant to become. Because when life shifts, when the pieces finally start to come together, you will realize that every struggle, every delay, every moment of doubt was preparing you for this. The reason the opportunity did not come sooner is because you were not ready. The reason it comes now is because you are. The sixth sign is moment of deep doubt and testing will occur. There will come a moment when doubt will settle into the corners of your mind like an unwelcome guest. It will whisper questions you thought you had already answered. Are you really good enough? Is this even worth it? What if you fail? It will feel overwhelming, relentless, and just when you think you have silenced those doubts, they will return louder than before. This is the moment that separates those who move forward from those who turn back. This is the moment that tests whether you are truly ready for what is ahead. Before something big happens, life has a way of making you question everything. The very dream you were so passionate about will suddenly feel impossible. The progress you once celebrated will start to feel insignificant. The belief that carried you this far will start to waver under the weight of fear. It does not mean you are on the wrong path. It means you are getting closer. The biggest breakthroughs come right after the biggest moments of doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not talent, not luck, not resources. It is the ability to keep going even when nothing makes sense. People think the hardest part of any journey is the beginning. It is not. The hardest part is the middle, when you are too far in to turn back but too exhausted to move forward. When you are standing in the uncertainty, unsure if all your efforts will ever pay off, this is when people quit. Not because they are not capable, but because doubt convinces them they are not. It tells them their work does not matter. It convinces them they are wasting their time. It shows them all the reasons they should give up. And if they listen, they will never know how close they were to the breakthrough. Doubt is not the enemy. It is part of the process. It shows up not to stop you, but to see if you are ready. It asks, how much do you really want this? Because if you can be convinced to walk away, you were never truly committed in the first place. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not the ones who never doubt themselves. They are the ones who feel the doubt and move forward anyway. They understand that doubt is a sign that they are stepping into something greater than themselves. It is the sign that they are growing, stretching, becoming more than they were before. Fear and doubt are loudest when you are closest to success. The closer you get, the stronger the resistance. The obstacles will feel heavier. The setbacks will seem more discouraging. The voices in your head will become more persistent. This is not a coincidence. It is a pattern, a test that has repeated itself in the lives of every person who has ever achieved something remarkable. The darkest moments always come before the light. The hardest battles always come before the victory. This is where most people stop. They assume the doubt means they are not meant to continue. They assume the fear means they are not capable. But what they do not realize is that the presence of doubt is not a sign of weakness. it is a sign that something big is about to happen. The people who push past this moment, the people who refuse to let their doubts dictate their actions, are the ones who get to experience the reward. Because on the other side of that doubt is everything they have been working for. On the other side of that fear is the version of themselves they have been trying to become. The only question is whether they will keep going long enough to reach it.
There's a fire in the distance, and the smoke fills up my lungs. I hear footsteps in the silence, like a war that's yet to come. These fears keep ringing, 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 ringing. These fears keep ringing. The storm is rising in my mind. I taste the ash on my tongue, like a truth I can't outrun. My shadow walks without me, and the night never ends. These doubts keep digging, 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 digging. These doubts keep digging, digging. plant my pain, where thunder speaks my name again. And if I break alone, but even stone remembers rain. These fears keep ringing.